In the heart of civil rights era Jackson, Mississippi, a young woman named Eugenia Skeeter Felon embarks on a journey that will forever alter her perspective and challenge the status quo. Freshly graduated from the University of Mississippi, Skeeter aspires to be a writer, but her path takes an unexpected turn when she becomes acutely aware of the racial injustices surrounding her. At a bridge game hosted by her childhood friend Elizabeth Lee Folt, Skeeter observes how her peers, all married and starting families, mistreat their African-American maids. Elizabeth's maid, Ibeline Clark, receives a call from Celia Fote, a white woman from the wrong side of town who wants to contribute to a benefit organized by the Junior League. Elizabeth and the socialite Hilly Holbrook, who heads the local Junior League chapter, mock Celia's efforts, deeming her unfit for their social standards. Little do they know that Celia is married to Hilly's former boyfriend, which may explain Hilly's disdain. In a conversation overheard by Skeeter, Hilly refuses to use Elizabeth's toilet, claiming that African Americans carry different diseases. She even champions her home health sanitation initiative, advocating for a bill mandating separate toilets for African Americans. Meanwhile, Skeeter, assigned to write the Miss Myrna housekeeping column for the local newspaper, seeks the assistance of Ibeline, who not only cooks and cleans for Elizabeth's family but also serves as a surrogate mother to Elizabeth's indifferent toddler daughter, May Mobley. Every day, Ibeline reminds May Mobley, "You is kind. You is smart. You is important." Back at home, Skeeter's mother, Charlotte, pesters her about being single. When Skeeter mentions her new job, Charlotte worries that her daughter will never get married. She even asks if Skeeter is attracted to women, suggesting an herbal remedy to cure such unnatural urges. At dinner, Skeeter's sarcastic comment about her interest in women causes her mother to leave the table, claiming upset due to her cancerous ulcer. Seeking solace, Skeeter retreats to her favorite outdoor spot, a small bench under a tree. There, she reminisces about Constantine, the maid who raised her. Constantine comforted Skeeter when she wasn't invited to a dance, leaving a void when she apparently quit while Skeeter was away at college. The full story remains untold, but Skeeter is deeply disturbed by Constantine's sudden departure and the discriminatory treatment of maids by Elizabeth and Hilly. Inspired by her experiences, Skeeter conceives a daring writing project, a book about the lives of Jackson's maids. She shares her idea with Elaine Stein, an editor in New York, who offers lukewarm encouragement, doubting that any maids will agree to participate. Meanwhile, Minnie, Hilly's maid, disobeys Hilly's order not to use the family's bathroom during a violent thunderstorm. In retaliation, Minnie bakes her own feces into a chocolate pie and presents it to Hilly. As Hilly indulges in 2 slices of pie, she questions why her mother isn't partaking. Minnie clarifies that this is a special pie made just for Hilly. A confrontation ensues when Minnie boldly tells Hilly to eat my. Hilly, taken aback, questions Minnie's sanity. Enfazed, Minnie calmly retorts, "No ma'am, but you're about to because you just did." Hilly's mother's laughter leads Hilly to commit her to a nursing home. That same night, Minnie's husband becomes violent while Ibeline can only listen helplessly over the phone. The next day, Ibeline attends a church sermon about courage and changing one's mind, which inspires her to assist Skeeter with her book. She tearfully recounts the tragic story of her son's death years ago. Her 24-year-old son was fatally struck by a truck at his workplace. The white foreman heartlessly left him at a colored hospital where it was too late to save him. Every year, the anniversary of his death is a painful reminder for her, but for others, it's just another day. This deepens her emotional connection to the dangerous book project. Meanwhile, Minnie starts working for Celia Fote, who finds herself somewhat isolated due to her inability to penetrate the Junior League social circle. Despite Minnie's initial wariness of white people, she gradually feels more comfortable around Celia, who treats her respectfully and has a bubbly personality. Minnie decides to improve Celia's cooking abilities, starting with teaching her how to make fried chicken. Their bond strengthens when Celia experiences her 4th miscarriage. Minnie comforts Celia during this emotional time and learns that Celia married her husband Johnny because she was pregnant but tragically lost a baby. Celia hasn't confided in Johnny about her subsequent failed pregnancies and worries about her inability to conceive. Hilly's new maid, Yule May, explains to her employer that her twin sons have completed high school and she and her husband have saved for years to send them to college. Unfortunately, they are $75 short for one tuition payment and faced a difficult decision of choosing which son can go. Respectfully, Yule asks Hilly for a loan, offering to work without pay until she can repay the debt. Hilly callously refuses, justifying her decision by claiming that providing charity to those who are capable goes against Christian principles. While vacuuming Hilly's living room later, Yule discovers a ring which she pockets with the intention of pawning it to acquire the needed tuition money. Hilly becomes aware of Yule May's actions and has her arrested at the bus stop in front of the other maids, leaving them deeply shaken by the incident. Aileen persuades a reluctant Minnie to join the book project, and Elaine Stein, who is becoming more receptive to the idea, stresses the need for multiple perspectives, including Skeeter's own experiences with Constantine. Following Yule May's arrest, almost all the local maids volunteer to contribute to the book. However, Skeeter worries that despite changing the names, the maids may still be recognized, causing further difficulties for the African American community after the recent murder of Medgar Evers. Minnie insists on including the story of Hilly, and the chocolate pie refers to as her terrible awful. This enigmatic inclusion serves as a safeguard against identification. Minnie knows that if the truth were exposed, an embarrassed Hilly would go to great lengths to prevent people from discovering that she had consumed her own maid's feces. Hilly, the imperious socialite, would vehemently deny any connection between the book and the privileged circles of Jackson. Meanwhile, Skur, a writer for the Junior League newsletter, becomes entangled in the web of secrets. Hilly persistently urges Skur to include an item about her proposed sanitation initiative. But Skur, with a slight whisk, consistently delays it, aiming to humiliate Hilly. Instead, she cleverly slips in an innocuous mention of a charity coat drive, strategically replacing coats with another term. The next day, chaos erupts. Elizabeth, Skur's loyal friend, receives an urgent call. She rushes to Hilly's opulent house, where pandemonium reigns. Hilly is in a frenzy, screaming, "I told her to write coats, not commodes." The once pristine lawn is now strewn with approximately 40 toilets, an absurd tableau. Amid Hilly's tantrum, innocent May Moy unwittingly sits on one of them, and Elizabeth slaps her until she cries. As the layers of deception unravel, Skur delves deeper. She learns from her mother, Charlotte, the truth behind Constantine's abrupt departure. Charlotte, the formidable matriarch, had fired Constantine, the beloved maid, because Constantine's daughter, Rachel, had dared to defy social norms. Rachel's refusal to use the back door during an important door luncheon had embarrassed Charlotte. Regret gnawed at her, and she even sent Skur's brother to persuade Constantine to return. Tragically, Constantine had already passed away by the time he arrived in distant Chicago. Skur's book, The Help, emerges anonymously, captivating the entire city of Jackson. Hilly, appalled by the story of the chocolate pie, desperately tries to distance herself from its contents. Skur, with unwavering resolve, divides her advance equally among all the maids, assuring them that more is on the way. An enticing job offer from a New York publishing house awaits her. Yet hesitation lingers. Abine and Minnie, steadfast in their encouragement, insist she seize this opportunity. In a romantic twist, Skur's interest, Stuart, abruptly breaks up with her upon discovering her authorship. Meanwhile, Hilly, ever astute, deduces the true author and storms over to Skur's house in a drunken rage. Threats fly, but Charlotte, fiercely protective, defends her daughter, kicking Hilly off the property. As Celia, another maid, prepares a grand feast for Minnie, a gesture of gratitude, her husband, privy to Minnie's employment, assures her of job security. Hilly, relentless in her vendetta, falsely accuses Ian of stealing silverware, intimidating Elizabeth into firing her. Alone within, Hilly implies that she can't send her to jail for her involvement in the book, but can for being a thief. Finally, Ian snaps, standing up to Hilly, a godless woman who falsely accuses, connives, and betrays. Tears flow as May Mai pleads with Ian not to leave her. As Ian walks away, she whispers her empowering mantra, "You is kind, you is smart, you is important." Elizabeth, witnessing this emotional upheaval, tears up. May Mai bangs on the window, crying for Isle's return. And Ian, fueled by her son's encouragement, silently vows to become a writer, a beacon of resilience and truth, just as her son had encouraged her to be.